Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joined today from the Department of Ag, Trade, Consumer Protection. We say DATCP here at Talking Fitchburg. Michael, you're back. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Outside right now, it's like a blizzard in March, which is really sad to see. So think springtime here as we get into these things. But something you might be thinking about as we go into spring and summer is you're looking for those jobs. And employment scams is something that we actually think we've talked about some of these, or maybe offline we've talked about some of these things. But employment scams come in so many different varieties. And the job market, it's been a little bit tougher in recent reports, so certainly there might be more opportunity for scammers to take advantage. But we got a unique one here today that is pretty fascinating. So just in general, does DATCP receive a lot of employment scam calls?
We do. We receive complaints, and especially we receive more calls about individuals who have reached out and now they're getting some suspicious questions. They're wondering if a website can be trusted. They're saying, hey, is this normally part of the process? Should I be concerned? So yeah, we definitely get those inquiries that have raised the alarm for us.
Well, this one today is very fascinating. And there'll be some things in here be like, okay, it sounds like a scam, but hits close to home. So set this up. Job seekers looking for jobs and getting, it just starts with the way they reach out to you. Just this one is what really like starts me off on the wrong foot. Like this unwanted call, go.
Well, sometimes it's an unwanted call.
Or email or text.
Or email or text. And sometimes it's those legitimate websites that we normally would use that are true, reputable platforms. And so that's where the scammers are really getting, I'm not going to say lucky, but being effective and successful, is because job seekers go to these websites that they know are real, know are legitimate, and so and then they're saying, okay, I want to apply. And they're looking at these postings that are intermingled, the scam ones in with all the legitimate ones. But sometimes you can tell that they stick out a little bit because they'll be offering, the best benefits, unusually high pay, incredibly work remotely or anywhere you want. So it's promoting kind of the dream job. And when you put it in comparison to other ones, you'll see that it stands out a little bit, but that's by design. That's to draw that job seeker in. And so we're really, unfortunately, seeing the true reputable platforms being infiltrated by these scammers. And even though they have terms and conditions that say you need to abide by the rules, scammers don't care about that. And we've talked about laws, rules, doesn't matter. Whatever gets them the money or the information. And so that's really where we're seeing this being the target of opportunity right now.
It's really hard to determine legitimate sometimes. Like, honestly, like you're looking at these things or you're like, if you really don't stop and think, like, just can happen. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just frustrating, I guess.
It is, and that's what makes this one, I think, a little bit more risky, is you may not even realize it until you're halfway or maybe all the way in, that you discover, oh boy, that was a scam, because the steps are all the same. Whether it be legitimate or a scam, you do have to have an interview. You do have to submit an application. You do have to provide personal information. So none of those are unique, which is why it would be very difficult to tell whether it's real or not.
All right. Well, what could job seekers do to avoid, for just thinking scam-wise, I like this one, not respond to unexpected texts or unknown links. Like, it seems pretty easy, but we get so much thrown at us, like you got to be ready, you got to think about where you are, the space you're in, and what you're doing. It could be just an accidental timing thing to, was it legit?
Yeah, it is. You got to think about, would a real reputable employer reach out to me like this? And the answer is oftentimes no. Employers are not going to send random people text messages and say, hey, we want to hire you and here's what we'll offer you. They don't know anything about you. And so that should be the first sign of, like, this probably isn't real. It's really asking yourself, well, how did I land here? And if it's unexpected, be very cautious.
And then practice your due diligence. I think it is just maybe setting up a plan about how you're going to do this. And it's different looking for jobs than it was 10 years ago, than it was yesterday. I mean, things are changing, certainly, but, I would say set up a plan, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like blending a couple of our tips here. The first is, doing your due diligence, and one of those steps is researching your employer. It's like looking at that particular employer. Don't just take the information you see on that platform that you found. Go to that secondary source. Go directly to all these major corporations are going to have contact information on their website. They're going to have an HR department. So just give them a call and say, hey, look, I saw that you're promoting this position on X platform. Could you let me know if that's real, if it's verification? Is this the real contact information? Just so you're going in the right spot.
And then avoid that high pressure tactic. So, and if given a lot of scams, that's one of the tendencies we seem to see is if you are online and in communication with them, you're going to feel the pressure.
It is, and you're going to feel pressure throughout the entire process. So maybe give you a few examples. A typical, what you might see, we'll say that the script or the playbook for how this scam works is, you see a posting, you react to that posting, and they say, hey, this is great, and you're like, this is fantastic. Now, keeping in mind, you're the job seeker who really wants all this information to be real because you want that dream job. And so then they're going to say, well, you need you to fill out an application. You need to do it right now because you know what? We have a lot of candidates, and we want to fill this position this week, so pressure. So, of course, you then give that information because you want to get that in right away, and you want to be first. You're like, okay, great. Well, you know what? Well, I'm going to be mobile. Can you just text me a couple extra things that I need? You don't think anything of it. You're caught into get that information. Another red flag, but pressure to get that done. Then what happens? They're hired. We're going to do this interview fast. We'll get you on board. We need you to get set up immediately because we want to get you that paycheck. Well, I want to start making money immediately. Pressure to go ahead and respond to that. And then what lastly has here, we're going to send you a check, buy those equipment. So that check, you reach out to the vendor. They say, hey, we fast-tracked you. We've got an accountant with XYZ. Go ahead and get what you need there. Go ahead and give them your payment information. You're thinking, this got to be trustworthy. They have a contract. So they've kind of pushed you right into it without you realizing. And then unbeknownst, and this is how the scam is most effective, and this is the key to all of these, is that check that they sent you to buy that equipment is fake. And so you've cashed it. You bought all these things from this fake vendor. Then all of a sudden the check bounces. Not only do you not get any of the equipment, but you're out all that money. But throughout all of that is the pressure to act now, respond now. And unfortunately, that eagerness to get a job combined with that pressure to react to what they're saying lands you in this spot, and that's where we're seeing a lot of these problems happening.
Again, scams vary all the time, right? I mean, that's part of the gig here. So trying to stay up on these things is difficult because they are altering a little bit. But if at the end of the day you're like, man, I am just not even sure where to start, on your website, I mean, you've got a lot of great resources, but it might be worth just before even putting this into your due diligence process of like reviewing your website on just employment scams in general, just add that to the repertoire of this is what I should know before I go out and even start my research process, because it just does seem there's just so many opportunities to get scammed. I don't want to scare everybody, but I don't know, it's like adding that in there as part of the process just seems like a good idea.
I think it is a proactive step we're probably going to have to take anywhere. I'm sure everyone watching right now at some point has gotten one of those text messages or those emails or, from their financial institution or someone to that, or, their utility company. You're like, I don't know if this is real or not. And it is an unfortunate reality. So educating yourself up front is really the cornerstone to everything we try and talk about when we do this, is saying, hey, just understand what to look for. And you'll start to see the pattern that's consistent throughout. So, we talk about the tweaks and the changes. Yeah, that's great. But if you then know to look, here's the foundation of what to look for, and then I can kind of grow a little bit and look for those other little unique things that we talk about each month, that's where you can be best protected.
I think you saw in real time me processing this, like, dang it, I got to add this to the repertoire if I'm going to ever look for a job. My goodness. Well, if you do want to learn more, again, the website's really helpful. I like to check it out all the time personally. But if you want to check it out, not you because you've worked there, but you out
Still
there,
a great website.
How could they?
I would encourage everyone visit DATCP.wi.gov. You'll see a great library of fact sheets, consumer guides, things that'll help you understand what you should look out for and make sure you can be safe amongst a whole variety of areas. If you have questions, you can also call our hotline at 1-800-422-7128. We'll be happy to answer any question that you have.
And please report it. This is the only way that Michael's going to come here and tell us to be prepared is you got to report it, get it to you guys so we can find out more and stop these scams from happening.
It's a great point. Don't be afraid to call us, because even if you think that something is a scam or you just have a question about whether it is, that phone call helps us understand what is going on out there in real time. And then it gives us the opportunity to educate all of your friends and neighbors and everyone else to help everyone keep each other safe.
All right, Michael, I appreciate the time as always, and I look forward to having you back real soon.
Look forward to being here. Thanks.